Welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft Podcast. My name's Chris Speir, and I'm going to be your guide to enjoying the great outdoors. So over the past several weeks, we've been going through fire. We've really been breaking down how to make a bow drill, how to build a fire kit, kindling and your tinder, how to start a fire. And so today, what I figured we're going to do is we're going to talk about some hacks to get some fast fires when you're out into the woods. Now, you can follow along. It's going to be a little different than what's in the book, but we're still going to use some of the methods that's listed in the book on page 176. So for those of you that are just now listening to the podcast, go ahead and pick up a copy of Primitive Camping and Bushcraft. This book is basically the contents of this entire podcast. And so if you just go ahead and pick that up on Amazon right now, it's like $14.40. And so it's not too bad. Then, right here, go ahead to help the channel along and help the podcast. Pick you up a couple bags of the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft blend coffee, how bushcraft tastes. Now, this stuff is amazing. I've got people that don't even go outside that they order this stuff and they say it's the best coffee that they've had in years. And so it is a fresh roasted, fresh ground coffee, and it's sent straight to your doorstep. So what I got going on today, I'm rebranding or redoing the fire kits. Now, these are the Speir Outdoors fire kits, and it's going to be something we talk about here in the fast fires. But inside this little tin, it's an Altoids style tin, and it has a few pieces of fatwood in there. It has a ferro rod in here, and on the bottom of all that, it has a Fresnel lens, one of these little magnification lenses, so you can start a fire that way. And I tried doing it different ways. I wanted to put some steel wool in there, but it would just not make the no matter how I did it, the contents would not allow the lid to shut, and so it wouldn't stay shut. So I took the steel wool out, and I just added a little bit more char cloth in there and another stick of the fat wood. Now, with this fire kit, you would be able to start a fire anywhere under any situation. And, whether it be dry tinder, whether it be a magnification fire, whether it be, with the fat wood or, the char cloth or whatever. Now, these little kits are pretty cool. So I'll leave a link in the description here where you can pick those up. But it's a perfectly little kit, and I'm actually going to start doing the fire kit, and I'm putting together a fishing kit right now. So you'll have those two kits when you on your person whenever you head out into the woods. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. First, we got firewood. Hey, we got firewood. Hey, everybody, we got some firewood going on over here. Fatwood. You got fatwood. And this stuff, it smells amazing. Now, a different company, Minuteman Stoves, the guy from Minuteman Stoves, I cannot remember his name. I apologize if you're listening to this. I deeply apologize. But he is he puts together rocket stoves, and these rocket stoves are amazing. He sent me one to do some videos with, and, I didn't get a lot of views on those videos. So, but, I got some more videos coming up with the rocket stove coming, but he's included some of these, what they call Maya sticks, but this is just fat wood. And fat wood is amazing stuff, and we have talked about it from day one in the fire section here that fat wood is the way to go to start a fire. If you have no other way to start a fire, fat wood is going to start your fire. Now, fat wood goes by many names, and I'm going to read word for word right here, okay? So bear with me. I did grow up in Mississippi. Fatwood goes by many names: lighter knot, fire pitch, fat lighter, pitchwood, and many more. Fatwood is great for fire because once a coniferous tree dies, the sap collects in the dead tree or branch, and the wood becomes rich in flammable terpene, a volatile hydrocarbon. The terpene evaporates, making the sap extremely hard and leaving you with a very flammable wood. There are roughly 125 different species of conifers or pine trees worldwide. So the chances of you being able to find fatwood in your location or your geographic area is very high. Fatwood has a very intense turpentine smell, which smells similar to pine saw. Has anybody used pine saw to clean their house? That's exactly what this stuff smells like. It smells like turpentine. It smells like it smells like pine. It's hard to describe how intense the pine smell is. So and once you've smelled it, you will never forget that odor. It is one of those that once you have smelled what fatwood smells like, you will never ever forget it. Now, depending on the amount of sap collected, the wood's color ranges from yellow to dark gold. Now, this is a real dark gold, and you could tell because it's almost luminescent. Like if you hold a light up to it, you could almost see the sap growing or collecting in between the fibers of the wood. So I could see it right here from this light. I could see it real rich right here. So these edges right here are very rich, and it has some stuff in there that is really going to start a fire. Now, I'm going to use my old trusty but not rusty homemade knife. I made this knife out of bed rail, and it has been an extremely awesome knife, and I have tried to break it and I can't, and I've tried to bend it and I can't. So this stuff is extremely cool, throw sparks, but you're going to use the spine right here, and you're just going to go back and forth, and you're going to collect those shavings. Now, I've done countless videos of this on YouTube's and TikTok and Facebook and all those, but you just keep going back and forth, and you have a huge pile of these wood shavings. And then those wood shavings, you take your ferro rod and you throw a spark. I'm not going to do it in here because I don't want to light the house on fire, but you throw that spark onto them, the fat wood shavings, and you will have a fire. And did I mention that fat wood is waterproof and it will burn in the rain? The rain's not going to put it out. A heavy downpour might put out a small fire, but I was on a camping trip with my son, and the only way that we could get a fire to burn was with fatwood. And so we ended up burning fatwood the whole time. It was about this time, February. It was cool. The rivers were flooded. It rained every day for 8 days. It was miserable. And, it was just one of those things to where the fatwood was the only way to get a fire going. And so that's what we did. Now, in the book, it says the bark pictured here is scraped away and the shavings were made using a 90-degree spine of a knife. Then you use a ferro rod to generate the spark in the fatwood, and it should erupt into flame even if it's wet or damp. All right, so a ferro rod is going to produce 5,000 degrees of spark. And with that 5,000 degrees, it's going to burn off the water or the dampness, and it is going to actually ignite that fatwood. Now, you disagree with me all you want. That's fine. That's why we live in America. And for those of you that live in America that's watching from here, and everybody's got an opinion. But I'm telling you now, fatwood is the way to go to start a fire. There it is. If you had, that's why I put this fire kit together with a ferro rod, fatwood, char cloth, and a magnification lens. Because if you got those 4 items, you can start a fire anywhere under any conditions. And, I made the 10 because you're able to make more char cloth when you're in the field or charred material. It don't have to be cloth. It could be other materials such as charred punk wood. It could be, certain leaves. It could be certain plants and materials. So now that was method number one. So we used the fat wood to start our fire. Now method number two is going to be cattail fluff, which I do not have any here. But cattail fluff we talked about it last time or one of the previous times, and cattail fluff is an amazing way to start a fire, but it's called a flash tinder. What's going to happen, you're going to throw that spark to it, it's going to go woof, and it'll burn like gasoline. So you have to have something else there to catch fire quick. So if you're going to have that cattail fluff in there, you got to have a real fine tinder, all the way broken down to very fine fibers in order for it to catch. I'm not saying it can't, but it can. In addition to being a decent food option in a pinch, cattails can be used as tinder. The part of the top of the plant that looks like the sausage is called the flower head. It's made of thousands and thousands and millions of seeds with fluff, and it's compact. And I've watched a video with Creek Stewart. Him and his wife went out and made pillows out of cattail fluff. And so they used the fluff from the cattails to fill their pillows. And I thought that was pretty cool, is seeing somebody actually going the distance as using natural material to make pillows for them to sleep with. Now, this explained already that it is called a flash tinder, that once a spark hits it, it will ignite very quickly, almost like gasoline. And it does just like gasoline. Woof. And I'm going to do it again. Woof. Yeah. All right. So somebody can take that and turn it into a little sound effect, send it back to me. That'd be great. That way I could be right here on the podcast and just go, woof. Yeah, well, kill me. Am I the only person that thinks I'm funny? Let me know in the comments. So with the trickiness of this tinder in mind, you want another tinder source available when starting your fire. Place the cattail fluff on the top of your other tinder source to increase your chance of getting steady flames going. If you take a few tries, it can absolutely create a substantial fire. So cattail fluff, depending on the time of the year, obviously, these sausages on the cattails or the flower heads are in the springtime, they actually produce pollen. You could take a Gatorade bottle, like one of your little 20-ounce Gatorade jugs, and stick the flower head in there and knock all the pollen out and collect pollen from several of them, and you can actually make a pancake or a biscuit out of that pollen, use it as flour. And so there's recipes out there for you to do that. All right, so moving right along, we got two methods right here. I included this Fresnel lens inside the fire kit. All right. Now, the Fresnel lens, it was interesting how Fresnel lenses work. If you look at it, you see it kind of looks like fingerprint prints all the way around. So what that is doing is taking the different lengths of light waves and it's breaking it down and actually concentrating them. So they use the Fresnel lens to magnify the light on lighthouses way back in the day. So they had back when it was candle power. So they had maybe 10 or 20 or 30, 40 candle power light or a bunch of candles lit inside there. And they used the invention of the Fresnel lens to magnify the light and shine it out to make it brighter than it actually was. So what we're doing is we're actually taking the Fresnel lens and we're going to actually magnify the sun's rays and use it as a magnifying glass to start a fire. Now, the real beauty of a Fresnel lens is that it fits in your wallet as a credit card. It's just like your credit card, debit card, or anything. It's extremely flexible. I haven't broke one yet, and it is extremely awesome to start a fire with. And these dudes are amazing at starting fire, especially if you have some sort of char cloth. That's why I teamed up some char cloth in this fire kit. I put char cloth in here with the Fresnel lens and with the ferro rod because you can use it two different ways. Now, when you're actually using a Fresnel lens with some char cloth, the dark side of the dark material will actually receive the concentrated sunlight better and start you an ember. Now, another method is a magnifying lens. Now, this little dude right here is on a necklace. I think I got links to this in the description of the videos on YouTube, on my website. Nautica, I believe, makes this dude. It's like $12. And it is a magnification lens on a lanyard or on a necklace that you can wear. And you can use this to help you see if you have a hard time seeing, reading or anything, you lost your glasses, you need to be able to read something or see getting a splinter out or starting fish hooks and putting thread through a needle or something to that effect. You can actually use this to do it. Same thing with the Fresnel lens. It does the same thing, but this little item is real compact. And I think this is 5 times magnification, to be honest with you. And so it magnifies the sun rays 5 times. It's enough to start a fire. I've started plenty of fires with this device. Now, I'm going to read when I was a little boy, my brother and I would sit out in the woods and start fire after fire with a big 10 times magnification lens. Our mom, she gave us to use, or actually, she probably didn't give it to us. We probably took it. So if she only knew half of the things that we set on fire, we'd have been in so much trouble. So creating fire with a magnification mirror or lens is a great option when supplies are limited because you're not using or expending any kind of fuel other than the sun's rays, and the sun's rays are free. Now, that I didn't put it on the table, I didn't bring it in here with me today, but the magnification mirror I mentioned in here with magnification is you can get a 10 times magnification mirror from the Dollar General or some kind of little, store that in their makeup section. And these ladies use them for putting on their makeup, putting on their mascara or whatever. And this is a 10 times mirror. And you can use that mirror to start a fire just as effectively as you can use a magnifying lens or a magnifying glass. Now, a magnification mirror can be used in multiple ways. That's why I always include it in my first aid kit, that you can use it for signaling. You can use it for starting a fire. You can use it for looking to see what's in your eye. You can pop your zits with it if you want to or whatever. Who cares? But there is a multi-use item, and it can be used for more than one thing. So a magnifying lens and a magnification mirror are great items to have in your kit, in your fire kit, like we talked about last week. You can have it in your first aid kit. You can have it in your fire kit. You can have this in your wallet. These are cheap. You can get a pack of 10 for like $12, something like that. You can have actually $7, I think. You get a pack of 10 of these, and you can have one in your wallet. You can have one in your first aid kit. You can put one in your backpack. You can put one in your fire kit. You can put one in, everything all over the place, and have backups to the backups to the backups in the event that things break. So now we're going to get into the last 2 items of the fire chapter. And these 2 items are, one is the most controversial, and I did not, I did a hack from a book that I read. I believe it was Creek Stewart's book, that he did a hack about starting a fire with a water bottle. And I did. And, that was an awesome method to start a fire. I got a lot of people saying, like, you're going to really find a water bottle in the woods. Let me tell you, anywhere there is humans, or anywhere on the planet, humans have all kinds of trash and waste. You can find stuff. If you're in the South, you go on the river, I can find any kind of anything. I found packs of light bulbs. I've found packs of water bottles. I've found everything in the South. When the rivers flood, people's yards get all the trash from these people's yards end up in the river and floating downstream. And then when the water subsides, all that trash is left laying in the woods. And it happens all the time. And I tend to do a lot of my videos and a lot of camping on the river down here. And I find stuff all the time. So the water bottle, not water bottle, but the light bulb, you take the light bulb and you bust out the element inside there, filament, element, whichever you want to call it. And then you pull that out and then you rinse out. There's a powder on the inside to either make it like to make it where it's not so bright, or to magnify the brightness of it. And it will actually, it'll wash out as you put the water in there, and then you fill it back up with some water. Now that water in that light bulb will actually turn into a magnification lens, and you can actually start a fire with a piece of char cloth or something dark, a piece of dark newspaper or something, because newspapers are predominantly black and white. Anywhere the black ink is will start, you can focus the sun's rays on there. Just anytime you're doing any kind of, if you can help it, any kind of solar anything, just make sure you got some sunshades on or something, because it can damage your vision and all that gets real bright, Now, you could do the same concept with a water bottle, plastic water bottle. Smart Water, their brand water bottles are amazing for starting fires. There's a reason why I use those in the book, because they are actually the best way to start a fire with a water bottle. You can use a Ziploc bag. You can use a chunk of ice if you get down to it. Anything that's going to magnify the sun's rays and concentrate the rays on the other side is going to allow you to start a fire. Now, are these my first go-to choices? Absolutely not. But if every other aspect of starting a fire is exhausted, or I do not have a way to do that, then I can get my hands on one of these, then yes, I can start a fire. Now, a lot of this is just like tricks, hacks, and, stuff like that. A lot of survival is tricks and hacks. The more tricks and hacks you know, the better off you're going to be in the long run. If you know a hack to start a fire, guess what? There's no wrong way to start a fire. There's no wrong way to start anything. If you know a hack that's going to get the job done, do the hack. There's no wrong way. Nobody is going to look down and say, you know what? You used a light bulb to start this fire. I'm not going to sit by this fire. You'll never hear that. How about this one? You used a condom to start this fire. I'm not going to sit by this fire. That's not going to happen. Only on TikTok will you ever get banned from showing a video of you starting a fire with a condom. I've done that. You take a condom, you fill it up with some water, you tie it off and make a ball. It makes a ball of water. It's the same concept we're talking about with the light bulb and the water bottle or a Ziploc bag, but you can use a condom, and you can actually use that condom to start you a fire. Condoms have uses besides their purpose and birth control purpose. Condoms are used to keep water out of barrels of guns. Condoms is used to keep certain things dry. You can use them to haul water. You can use them to store water. You can use them to start fires. Condoms have so many purposes. You can use them as a tourniquet in a pinch. Come on, give me a break. I don't need to hear all the garbage. I just say it in a pinch. If that's all you had, I would prefer you use a shirt or a piece of paint line or something like that. Besides that, let's erase that. I never said that. People are going to eat me up. But anyway, there's multiple uses for everything. The best thing to have with you in a first aid kit is a tourniquet and a proper tourniquet. And I acknowledge that. Don't try. I've seen people use belts. I've seen, stuff like that. It just use a proper tourniquet. All right. So, but anyway, moving along to next, we're going to have food, but, talk about two more things as far as starting fire. And I cannot reiterate this as often as I do. I mean, I can't overstate this. These fire starters, these all-weather fire starters, you have an entire block of magnesium on one side, you have a ferro rod on the other. And these are the most amazing fire starters I have ever seen. They will start a fire in, just like the name says, in all weather. The magnesium, you scrape off a huge pile of magnesium and you're able to get almost anything lit. And so this has turned into my go-to, always use fire starter. I love it. I take it with me when I go camping. I take it with me when I'm going in the woods. This is in my kit. This is the most amazing fire starter on the planet right now, in my opinion. And, I also use black bear fire plugs. Those things are amazing. I don't care how much they cost. A little bag of those fire plugs is always worth it, because you could put a couple of them in. You could put a few of them in a fire kit if you wanted to take them in the fire kit, and it's an instant fire. All it needs is one spark and you are done. You're done. So, I told you I was going to get into this fire kit a little bit more. So the fire kit itself is an Altoid style tin can. And inside there, I got 4, maybe 5, depending on the size, pieces of fatwood. Now, these little fatwood sticks can be, you take your knife and you can split these down even smaller. You can take one of these sticks and make more than enough shavings from the back of your knife and start you a fire. Now, these sticks right here, you can easily split these down into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can have 11 more sticks out of these 4 sticks right here. And, you can shave these dudes down and turn these into several fires. Just make sure you got everything that you need to start your fire. You got a good tinder to, once you're using this, you're going to ignite this, and then you're going to have a good tinder, some very good kindling, and then some good fuel. Now, the ferro rod is about a 3-inch by 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch. It looks like 1/4 inch. Ferro rod, and this dude is pretty good at starting fires. It comes with a good scraper here. So if you don't have a knife, now the beautiful thing about the scraper is that you can use this scraper to scrape your fatwood and make your shavings off of here. You can use this scraper to just scrape this thing, and you can have all that you need to start a fire. Now, you got tons of char cloth in here. Now, these were old denim jeans, which I find is the absolute best char cloth, is using denim jeans. And you got tons of fire starting potential in here with this char cloth. And, you can use this. You can even take hit a couple rocks together into the bucket. You're just dropping the sparks down in there, and the spark will land on this char cloth and it will ignite. You will get an ember. Then once again, down in the bottom of the kit, I have the Fresnel lens here. Now, the Fresnel lens is, like, we've just spent a whole episode talking about it, but that will start you a fire no matter where or what, as long as you have a bright, sunny day. Now, here in Mississippi, you always hear that, if it's the wintertime, you're not going to get a solar fire. Yeah, you will. You just have to be a little bit more patient. You will get a solar fire. All right. So, down we go, in we go. Now, that is what is inside these kits. So if you're interested in these kits, go ahead, leave me a comment. Let me know and I will let you know where I can or how to get them to you. I added stuff to my Shopify store, but then all of a sudden my Shopify store gets disconnected for some reason. I don't know look, I do all this myself. Everything that you see is done. Any Speir Outdoors, anything is done by myself. With the exception of the coffee, that is, I ordered that through a company that does my own private label coffee. All right. And it's great coffee and it's great. The book was published by a subsidiary of Macmillan Books, Topics Lab or Media Lab Books. Then, like the mugs here, where the coffee cups are, this is done through, with all my t-shirts and everything through Spreadshop. But as far as everything else that you see on Speir Outdoors is done by myself. The website's done by myself. All the editing is done by myself. All the video is done by myself. All the photos is done by myself. So, you get it. I'm a one-man shop. I'm a one-man show. And pretty soon it's going to be, I don't know what to do with it from here on out because I don't make enough money to hire somebody to help me, but I can't do it by myself no more. Get to that point. So, but anyway, before we get too deep, hey guys, I really appreciate y'all joining me today. These are just a couple of real quick hacks, and I don't want to sit here and rant, but these are quick hacks to starting a fire. And if y'all got any questions, leave a comment. Go to the Facebook page, Primitive Camping and Bushcraft, and the group. Join the group. We got 7,000 members in the group, and, leave a picture, leave a comment, just come get involved, get involved. And if you like the podcast, I don't know what we're going to continue doing from here, but if you like the podcast, go ahead and leave a review, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you don't let me know what you think, I don't know what to continue to do. And if I feel like nobody is getting involved or nobody wants it, then we'll just scrap the whole thing. And if you like it and this many people are liking it and I'm getting some constant feedback, leave thumbs ups and comments on the videos. Share the videos. Share the podcast. Help me out because I don't know what you guys want. I don't know what you guys like, and because there's no feedback coming in. Please leave me some feedback and let me know. And by saying that, I'm going to get by maybe 2 or 3 people that do it. Hey, and for you 2 or 3 people, if that's what it's for, that's what it's for. And I really appreciate your help and I appreciate your support. But anyway, pick you up a copy of the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft book. It's on Amazon right now for $14.40. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time in the next video or podcast. God bless you.